All right, welcome back to episode 35 of To The Crib, the go-to podcast for all things football related. It's been a long week, but it's myself, Delliks, and my man, Coach Bishop, back from being sick. How are we doing?
Still getting over it. You can probably tell by my voice, man. I'm still kind of congested, so forgive me if I have a little cough or two here or there, but, happy to be back, happy to be giving everybody what they need here for Sunday. Sorry we wasn't able to get you guys a Thanksgiving one, but I was in a pretty bad way. But, like I said, happy to be back and happy to get this thing rolling for you guys.
Yes, sir. This is the Week 12 slate preview. We apologize for not being able to come get you a Thursday Turkey Day special or a Black Friday game. So those are 4 games that we missed out on. But hopefully you guys were able to make the right place without us. So we got 13 games left. No, 12 more games left on the slate for Week 12. So we're going to get right into it. All right. First game we got here is New Orleans at Atlanta. New Orleans is 5-5. Atlanta is 4-6. Big time divisional matchup right here. New Orleans is leading the division right now at 5-5, so this is a big matchup for them. Right now, Ritter is going to be starting for Atlanta. He's back being the starting quarterback, and so is Derek Carr, also being back as a starting quarterback for the Saints. Also, no Michael Thomas for the Saints. So, Coach Bishop, how do you see this game shaping up?
Michael Thomas not playing today, I don't think it's going to affect the Saints as much. They got with Olave, I think that's actually going to free him up. I think Olave is set to have a big day here today. And then you got Shaheed as well. So, the Saints have a lot of weapons, and they actually know how to use them. So, I'm going to take the Saints in this game. I just don't feel like it's Mike Smith, right? That's
Arthur Smith.
Arthur Smith. I knew it was either Arthur or Mike. But, he's just not using Bijan right. I know last week, he tried to get him a little bit more involved and stuff, but I just don't trust him, man. I think the Falcons are in a downhill, and I think the Saints pull this one out. I think it's going to come down to the Saints and Bucks as to who's going to take this division.
Yeah, I also think the Saints are going to win. It's interesting you said Olave is in for a big day. He's actually been doing all right without Carr as the quarterback, because him and Carr just were never really on the right page. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes this week without Michael Thomas. Hopefully they can be on the same page and have good chemistry today. Big game for Kamara lined up. Last time he played, he went off. He had a pretty good game. He had like 18 fantasy points, PPR points without any touchdowns. So hopefully this week he gets to get in the end zone and it'd be a monster day for those that have him. I know that I have a couple bets here. I think Bijan should go over 57.5 rushing yards. I like that to be pretty easy. And then Jonnu Smith, I like his over 24.5 receiving yards. Do you have any bets for this game?
Yeah, so like I said, with Chris Olave, I'm big on Chris Olave this week, especially with Michael Thomas not in the lineup. So I'm going to say I think Chris Olave is going to go over 69.5 receiving yards. I think that's a small line for him. Mm-hmm. And then also give me Kamara over 87.5 total yards. That's something I think he's going to get there, both in the air and on the ground. He gets there both ways all the time.
All right, so we both like New Orleans to win the game. Yeah. All right, moving on then. We got another divisional matchup. There's a lot of them this week, by the way, but this one's going to be Pittsburgh, 6-4 Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to the 5-5 Cincinnati Bengals. Of course, in Cincinnati, there is no Joe Burrow. Jake Browning is going to be your quarterback today. And then on the Pittsburgh side, everyone's pretty much back. The only thing is they did change their offensive coordinator. They fired Matt Canada finally. He was not getting it done. Horrible play calling. Let's see how this shapes up with the new offensive coordinator. I believe they're doing the old two-headed monster, like the Dolphins did with Flores. So, not so sure if that's the best recipe for success, but hopefully it's anything better than what they were doing with Matt Canada. To be honest, I don't know how that's going to shape up. You know, we don't know how, if it's going to lean run more or if it's going to be more play calling for the pass. Hopefully what it is just less predictable, you know, for the Steelers. How do you see this game shaping up?
Me personally, I'm taking Pittsburgh in this game. I don't think Jake Browning's going to have a good game. I think it's going to be a rough one here for the Bengals. You know, that defense on the other side is pretty tough, especially for somebody coming in, first game of the season starting. I just think it's going to be rough. I think this is not going to be a good week for the Bengals. So give me Pittsburgh here to take this W.
Somewhere out there, Jerry is watching me to say this, but yeah, I do like the Steelers to win this game as well. That would be a great win for them. They could, separate themselves from the Bengals and keep themselves in the race for the AFC North. Deontay Johnson even said that he, after the game last week, he had a shouting argument with Mike Tomlin in the locker room after the game, and I guess I'm sure Tomlin would describe it as just team building, chemistry building. That like you said, he'd rather his people care than not care. So it's gonna be interesting to see how all that shakes up. I think Deontay has a good game. A decent game. His line right now is at 52.5 receiving yards. I definitely think he could hit that over. Jaylen Warren, our darling running back, he's the official starter nowadays. I do think he can get over his line, 49.5 rushing yards for him. And then piggybacking off the rough start for Browning, they have his line at 207.5 passing yards. I think he goes under that today in this game. I don't think he's going to do it horribly. He's no Tim Boyle or anything like that, but I think 207 is a little high for him. I think he goes under 200 today. Do you have any bets for this game?
Not on this one, man. I feel like this one's kind of a little bit risky with the new offensive coordinator and the two-headed monster, like you said, calling plays.
Yeah.
You just don't know what the game script's going to look like in this new situation. So I'm going to tend to stay away from it just because I don't understand what they're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have anything to fall back on as far as to make me feel good about anything for the Pittsburgh side. And then on the Bengals side with Browning, I'm going to just stay away from the Bengals here today. I don't know what it is. Let's see. What's Mixon's attempts? That might be a good one to take over on his attempts.
That's at 17.5.
Ooh, that's high. Never mind. We're going.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of garbage time maybe in this game. So, because I do like Pittsburgh by double digits in this game. So, I'm going to just stay away from the bets on this game.
All right. Moving on. So, yeah, we both like Pittsburgh to win that game. Moving on, we got Jacksonville, 7-3. Jacksonville Jaguars traveling to the 6-4 Houston Texans. This is probably one of the biggest games on the slate. Another divisional matchup. This is going to be huge for not only the AFC South, but also the AFC in total for different seeding purposes for the playoffs. For Houston, Dameon Pierce is back. He was out for a while with his ankle injury. He's a full participant in practice, full go for this game. Noah Brown is out again. So with that said, we can get away with playing pretty much all the receivers if you really wanted to. But Tank Dell and Nico Collins are wheels up with Robert Woods and Dalton Schultz being the third and fourth options. And then on the other side, Jacksonville, everybody's back. We thought Zay Jones wasn't going to play last week, and he actually ended up playing. And he's iffy this week, but it looks like he's going to play again. So with that said, how do you see this game going?
I think this is going to be a repeat of what happened the first time they played. Give me the Houston Texans to win this game and take control over the division. They win this game, they move into first place in the AFC South. So we was talking about this team way back in the first episodes about how we felt like this team was a sleeper. They have a lot of weapons, and if things came in with Stroud and he actually played good, they could be a good team, and that's where we're at right now. Stroud's balling. He's looking like a great quarterback, a great pick. Tank Dell's come in and he stepped up and he's playing a crucial role for that team, and he's handling the pressure. So, and I'm curious to see what happens today with Pierce coming back, because I feel like Devin Singletary's won that job, to be honest, the past 2 weeks with Pierce out. So I'm interested to see what that split looks like, but I still like the Texans to be able to beat the Jaguars at home.
Yeah, I also like the Texans to win. Let's see here. They have C.J. Stroud. They have his line at 272.5 passing yards. He's basically gone over 300 yards almost every game. I know Jacksonville could be a little stifling against the pass, but I'm going to go ahead and say Stroud goes over that, pretty easily. And then on the other side, Calvin Ridley kind of woke up last week. Give me his over 4.5 receptions. I think he could get 5 receptions or more in this game. You have any bets for this one?
Well, when Stroud played the Jaguars, it was back in week 3, and it was actually their first win. And since then, they're 6-2. Since that win, they started off 0-2, and they're 6-2 since that week. He threw for 280 in that game and 2 touchdowns. So
that's a good sign.
That's a good sign, man. I feel like I love that over for him as well. He did only have 30 pass attempts. It was 20 for 30 in that game. If I'm looking at bets in this game, I'm gonna take. Let's see, Tank Dell has been balling. So give me a Tank Dell over his 63.5 receiving yards. I think that's an easy line for him. And then I also like Nico Collins as well, over 4.5 receptions.
For Nico?
Yeah.
All right. And we both like Houston to win. All right, moving on. We got one of the non-divisional matchups. It's actually the 4-6 Tampa Bay Buccaneers traveling to the 5-5 Indianapolis Colts. Rachaad White was downgraded to questionable because of a knee. He said his knee locked up in practice this week, but it's being told that he's actually good to go. It was just like a little scare, so he's going to be giving it a go. But other than that, it looks like everybody is playing. Even Josh Downs should be playing as well for the Colts. So, how do you see this game shaping up?
I think the Bucs are going to be able to go on the road and pull out a W here. I think their run defense is pretty solid. So I think it's going to put the ball in Gardner Minshew's hand a lot. Mm-hmm. And I just don't trust him to be able to get the job done, to get the W. I think they're going to need that run game for Indy to get wins. They need to be able to rely on the run game. And I think Tampa's going to be able to go in there and shut that down, or at least be able to contain the back, contain JT. And I think that's going to help them pull out a W in this game.
Yeah, this is a tough one for me. I have a feeling the Colts win this game. They are coming off a bye. The Bucs secondary isn't really that good this year. We've seen people light them up, so I think the Colts can do just enough. And the Colts, for some reason, have been decent on defense as well. They do get into shootouts, kind of, in a way, because of the way they play. Their offense is very high-paced, fast-paced. They get a lot of plays in. So I think it's going to be a close game, and I think the Colts can squeak it out. But either way, I think both teams will be good for fantasy in this game. I love Michael Pittman in this one. I think he should eat. I have him over 69.5 receiving yards. That's my only bet of the game right now. But with them saying Rachaad White is going to be a full go, I think Rachaad White should have a great game as well. And then, Mike Evans and Godwin, they should do all right. They should do decent. with their stats. I'm not really playing Kate Otten right now, and I'm not playing Josh Downs. I'm gonna give them a week or so, just because I don't know. It's not really any ceiling, to be honest, for them to. I mean, I guess Otten if you're desperate, but I think there's probably a better place for tight end on the slate. Um, you have any bets for yourself?
Yeah, so like I said, I think they shut down this rushing game. So I feel like Jonathan Taylor's rush line is at a high mark. They got him at 77.5 rushing yards. I'm going to be saying he goes under that. Last 2 weeks, he's put up 69. And then the week before that at Carolina, which is a weak run defense as it is, he only put up 47 on 18 carries. So I feel like the Bucks have one of the best run defenses in the NFL. So with a high line of 77.5, I'm going to be going under on that.
Okay.
And then I like Mike Evans, man. I feel like every week his line is so low. I love taking. I feel like he's good to get you 70 yards in any given game. And they got him at 65.5. So I'm going to say he goes over 65.5.
All right. Very nice. All right, moving on. We got the Toilet Bowl. New England Patriots 2-8. New England Patriots traveling to the 3-8 New York Giants. Once upon a time, this is a really high-profile matchup. Not so much anymore. This is a Toilet Bowl matchup. Honestly, don't want to take too much time on this. Mac Jones is back starting for the quarterback for the Patriots. Yeah, Demario Douglas is the only guy you're really trying to start, if anything, on Patriots side with Ramondre Stevenson. But as a pass catcher, Demario Douglas is probably the only one you're going to start. On the Giants side, there really isn't any pass catcher you want to start. You're definitely playing Saquon Barkley just because, and that's about it. Does it matter who wins this game? No. So, who do you want to go ahead and take a stab at it? Who do you think is going to win?
So I'm going to throw this out there, okay? Since you calling this thing the Toilet Bowl.
Yes.
Every time these two teams meet in a bowl game, it always ends up being the Giants. You know, they got them 2-0 in Super Bowls.
Okay.
I think they win the Toilet Bowl as well. So give me the Giants to win this game. I just don't think the Patriots are going to have anything here, man. I think the Patriots, they shooting for that number one pick, man. They got something to win. And unfortunately, the only way to get to what they want to win for is they got to lose to get there. So
right.
I think they're going to continue that with those ways. I think this is not going to be a good game for them. You know, the Giants just came off of a big win beating the Commanders last week.
Yeah.
You know, and they put up 31 points in that game. So I think Barkley could have a good game. They're gonna have to ride Barkley. But I feel like they got the Patriots as a 4-point favorite on the road. I don't see the Patriots being able to beat anybody by 4 points. So
yeah.
I like the Giants here plus the 4. I'm definitely going to be riding that line.
Yeah, we spent way too much time on this game already. Giants win. Let's go. Moving on. 1-9 Carolina Panthers traveling to the 3-7 Tennessee Titans. If the other matchup wasn't bad, this is just as bad. Bryce Young's still quarterback. They're still going to throw him out there. There's not really any injuries on Carolina, nor the Titans. Everybody's pretty healthy for the Titans as well. So how do you see this game shaping up?
I am going to say Carolina gets another W here, man. I mean, I think at the end of this game, you're going to have two teams in this league sitting at 2-9 with the Carolina Panthers, and you also have the New England Patriots going to be sitting there with them. I just don't trust Tennessee to do what they have to do. I don't feel like they have it in them. They are 3-7 as far as how many games they give Derrick Henry 20 touches. So 3 times they've given it to him, 3 times they won, 7 times they haven't, and 7 times they lost. So yeah. I feel like that's going to continue, and I don't think he gets his touches, and I think they lose this game.
Yeah, with that said, I think, so it's interesting. Yeah, I mean, they're not going to give him the 20 touches, that's for sure. So with that said, they probably should lose, but I think they're going to be able to pull this one out. The Titans, I think they're going to do just enough to get past Carolina. Um, you know, with that said, though, I do like. So I guess I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. I'm gonna say under 16.5 rushing attempts for Derrick Henry. Might as well. Fuck it. And then
This gonna be the week.
yeah, he's gonna blow up.
Watch.
And then but it's a great matchup for him. I'm not gonna lie. Good matchup for D Hop as well. You're definitely gonna play those two guys. On the other side, you're playing Adam Thielen, and you're playing maybe Chuba, but doesn't feel good. Miles Sanders kind of woke up last week. Last time they played, he had 11 carries, over 50 yards rushing. Signs of life. I think he could get over his line today. It's 26.5 rushing yards. I think he'll be able to get over that. And then Eddie Pinheiro is at 5.5 kicking points. I'm gonna go ahead and say, yeah, why not? Give me Eddie Pinheiro over the 5.5 kicking points. And then again, Henry under 16.5 rushing attempts. Do you have any other bets for this game?
No, not on this one. This one's, like you said, it's a garbage ball. I'm going to try to stay away from it because who knows what could happen. Anything can happen in these games. But I am looking at an interesting stat here. I just want you to listen to this. These two guys have, there's somebody in the NFL right now. So Derrick Henry is 7th in rushing in the NFL. That's has crazy. 663 yards rushing on 158 carries. 8th place has 661, 2 yards behind him, and has 42 more touches than him. And it's Josh Jacobs is sitting at 8. So Derrick Henry has 42 less touches and 2 more rushing yards, but we don't feed the man the ball 20 times. He should be getting the same. If he had the same touches as Josh Jacobs, he'd be like in the top 2. He'd probably be sitting right there behind McCaffrey in rushing in the league. And I just don't understand why the Titans just don't want to win. That's the only way I see it, and that's why I picked Carolina in this game.
Okay. Yeah, so you like Carolina. I like Tennessee. All right, moving on. All right, we got the 4-6 Los Angeles Rams traveling to the 2-9 Arizona Cardinals. Obviously, the Cardinals are rejuvenated now with their leader back, Kyler Murray. He's finally back. No Michael Wilson, though. He's still out with a shoulder injury, so that means Marquise Brown, Rondale Moore, and maybe a little Greg Dortch happening for you. On the other side of the Rams, Kyron Williams is finally back as well off the IR with the ankle injury. They should be good to go, but Sean McVay says they're going to be mindful of maybe taking some snaps away from him. All right. With that said, how do you see this game going?
I think the Rams win this game, so I kind of was wrong. I said 2 teams. There's going to be 3 teams sitting at 2-9 after this game.
Well,
so it's gonna be a
Arizona will be 2-10. They still have.
Oh, they'll be 2-10.
They still have.
They haven't had the bye week. Okay, so 2-10. So they'll have that inside track, I guess you could say, to that number 1 pick. I'm just curious to see what they do with it. But I think the Rams pull this one out. They got everybody's there. Everybody's playing. They say Cup's gonna go.
Yep.
So you got Cup going. You got Williams coming back. I just think the Rams are set up here to have a big game, and I'm gonna be taking the Rams in this one.
Yeah, definitely. I like the Rams to win as well. I like Puka's line over 60.5 receiving yards. And then I like on the other side for the Cardinals, I love Kyler Murray's rushing yards is 36.5. I like him to go over 36.5 rushing yards. He likes to run around.
He likes to run around.
And then, do you have any bets for this game as well?
Yeah, I mean, I know they say they're going to try to handle his touches, but you got Kyron Williams coming back. I feel like they're going to get him involved, or at least try to. He may be on the snap count, but I feel like when he's in there, he's going to be used. They got him at 13.5 rush attempts. I see him easily being able to get 14 rushes in this game. So I'm going to say he goes over 13.5 rush attempts. I do like that Puka line. I think that's a good one to be taking here. And then for
Mark.
Arizona, I'd say Marquise Brown, 53.5. I like that as well.
Yeah,
So
I like that too.
I think that's a good one as well.
Nice. Yeah, I just saw that one. I'm like, okay, that's a little low. Marquise Brown over 53.5 receiving yards. All right, yeah, we both like the Rams to pull that one out. Moving on, we got the 7-3 Cleveland Browns traveling to the 5-5 Denver Broncos. So for this game, not much going on, as far as injury wise. Obviously Watson's out, so we're still rocking with Dorian Thompson-Robinson as quarterback for the Browns, which he was able to get a big win this last time we're going out, which was big for them. This is going to be an interesting game. Denver's in the mix right now. They've won 4 in a row. So give them props on that. They should be able to handle business today. Or not handle business, but they should be in the mix is what I'm trying to say. This game is going to be a close one to me. Russell Wilson and Cortland Sutton, they've been having good chemistry. They got everybody back. Javante's balling. P. Ryan's there. It should be an interesting matchup. How do you see this game going?
Me personally, I'm actually going to be taking Denver. I think that's the first time I actually say that this year.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like Denver is, they're starting to turn things around. I guess Sean Payton's finally got them rolling. They're getting Javonte Williams involved in the game. So I actually think Denver's going to be able to pull this out. I feel like the Cleveland Browns, though, losing to Deshaun Watson and going with the rookie DTR, I just don't like it. I feel like that team's just suffered a lot, man. It started with Nick Chubb. Now you're losing Watson. This team is, I feel like, on a downward trend, and they actually may end up sneaking where they don't make the playoffs because I feel like you're going to get some of these late surging teams. And right now, the Denver Broncos are looking like one of those late surging teams that's going to make this push and be able to sneak in the back door here. Plus, you got people like the Bills that are still on the outside of the playoffs right now that may be able to fight their way in. Although they do have a tough road going ahead the next 3 weeks. They played 3 of the top 5 teams in the NFL. So it's going to be curious to see how that goes for them. But as far as the Browns go, I think they're going to end up missing the playoffs. And I think they get another loss this week. And this is what's going to start the downward trend for them.
For the Browns, yeah. It's interesting. Yeah, I like Denver to win the game too. I do have a couple bets as well. Okay, so real quick on the Denver side, you playing Russell Wilson or no? If you have to,
if I could get away from it, I feel like it's gonna be a super low scoring game, something where it's like, this could end up being a 10-3 game, 10-7. So I'm gonna try to avoid having to play anybody in this game unless it's maybe like a Cortland Sutton. Cortland Sutton's, man, he's this guy. He just keeps finding the end zone week in and week out. So he is saving his lines with that. But me personally, I'm trying to stay away from having to play anybody. I wouldn't be playing Russell Wilson if I could avoid it.
So that's you're gonna try to avoid Javonte Williams as well, and Sutton. On the other side, you have Jerome Ford, Kareem Hunt, Mari Cooper, Elijah Moore. I think obviously Ford could play. I think this is a decent matchup for him. I like his line actually. It's 51.5 rushing yards for Jerome Ford. I like him to go over that. And then on the other side, I like Samaje Perine to get over 17.5 receiving yards. The Cleveland Browns are definitely going to be pressuring Russell Wilson, and Russell Wilson loves to do that little dump offs to Perine to try to get out of trouble so he doesn't take a sack. So I think that's going to be enough to get over that 17.5 receiving yards. Do you have any bets for this game?
I like the under 36.5, like I just said. I mean, I don't really have any bets for this game, but I'm just saying, just to go off of what I'm telling you, looking at these receivers, look at the top receiver for each team. You got Amari Cooper's line is at 44.5 yards. That's extremely low. I mean, they don't put them that low unless they know something. And then on the other side, you got Cortland Sutton's receiving line is 42.5. And then Jerry Jeudy's at 37.5. I mean, the lines alone right there, as far as their player props, is going to tell you this is going to be a very low scoring game, very boring, a lot of punts, and a lot of field position where teams are just trying to, like, put teams in a bad start. So I don't see a lot of points in this game. I think this game could end up being under 20 scored. So 36.5 is something I'm comfortable with.
Okay, I do like D Hop to go over 5.5 kicking points.
There you go. That's a good
Yeah,
one because that's what it's going to be. Field position is
Dustin
going to be a lot of
Hopkins.
defense. There you go. So I like that too. I think he gets 2 field goals in this game. Hell, he might kick 4 field goals. This might be like a 12-3 game. I'm telling you, it's going to be a very boring game to watch.
All right, yeah. We both like Denver to win the game, keep themselves in the race.
And I'm curious about the weather because this thing's in Denver.
Yeah.
So I'm a little curious to see what the weather is going to look like, actually, because I don't know that right offhand. But we were watching that game yesterday at work, Kansas State and Iowa, and that's kind of, in that same little field. So and it was pretty snowy. So I'm curious to see if that might also be something affecting these lines. It might be wind and snow in this game.
Yeah, it says there's going to be a little bit of snow, flurries, 33 degrees.
Snow flurries, you're going to get that wind as well. So that's what also thing. So the rushing props are going to probably be good because they're going to have to try and keep the ball out of the air.
All right, moving on. We got the 7-3 Kansas City Chiefs traveling to the 5-6 Las Vegas Raiders. For the Raiders, Max Crosby the whole week was saying that he wasn't going to be able to play with a knee injury. He's listed as doubtful, but Ian Rappaport came out this morning and said that he's going to try to play. It'd be the first time in a long time that someone is listed doubtful and still tries to play. So, we know about Max Crosby with the Dolphins. You saw him on the Hard Knocks if you watched it. They did a whole special on him. Like, they pretty much highlighted him and his work ethic and how he is on the field. The guy's relentless. He's got a heart like no other. He's going to, obviously he says he's going to give it a go. So, I trust that he will be out there just because of the kind of guy he is. Not saying that it's going to be that great of a difference maker because, he probably is really hurt. So we'll see. But, anything is better than nothing, I guess. The Raiders still have Aiden O'Connell as the quarterback as well. So we'll see how he does with this Kansas City defense. But on the other side, no Kadarius Toney, he's out. And then no Mecole Hardman is already on the IR. So, with that said, how do you see this game going?
Me personally, I think this is going to be a Travis Kelce game here. You're going to see Travis Kelce explosion. So I think the Chiefs win this game. They should be able to pull this out. But I think it's going to be closer right now. They got the spread at 9.5 points. We just saw Las Vegas go to Miami. Mm-hmm. They kept that game close. Before that, under this new coach, now they're 2-1. And then they gave Miami a tough game last week. So that's their only loss under Pierce. So I feel like they're going to be back home. They got KC coming, divisional matchup. They're going to be fired up to play this game. I think the Chiefs pull it out, but I don't think they win by double digits.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs come back and get right. I think they do all right in this game. I love Pacheco, over 68.5 rushing yards. I think they're going to let him rock the rock for the most of the game. He's been doing well. I didn't think he was going to do well against the Eagles. He did pretty decent. He looked good. So that was a really tough run defense. So, and he got like 80 yards on them. So I think, this is going to be a better matchup. He got 89 yards against Philly last week, 19 carries. So I think this is an easy line, 68.5 rushing yards. Love your Kelce line, or Kelce, lean. His line right now is at 70.5 receiving yards. I like that as well. To go over that. Do you have any bets for this game?
Yeah, I feel like when I'm looking at the Chiefs, there's actually a lot of things I like here. So I do like the Pacheco for you. You can take either side of this. I might actually lean towards the 16.5 rushing attempts. Just because that's 17 rush attempts, if he's getting 4 yards per attempt, which is a really good average, that's going to put you at 68. So I'm going to lean towards a 16.5. But I might actually just take both 16.5 and the 68.5 rushing yards and just lock in both of those. Okay. Kelsey 70.5 receiving yards. I love that. And then, like you said, with Kadarius Toney out, Nicole Hardman on the IR, some of these receivers are going to have to do something. And MVS is sitting here with a 15.5 receiving prop. Wow. I'm taking MVS to get at least 15.5 receiving yards. Because there's going to have to be somebody catching the ball. So give me that one. And then on the Raiders side, I like Josh Jacobs to go over 65.5 rushing yards.
Nice. I also like Jacoby Myers over 3.5 receptions.
Literally was about to say that too.
Yeah, I think that one's easily done as well. He's basically their second option in the game. So yeah. Over 3.5 3.5 receptions for Jacoby Myers. All right, we both like Kansas City to win the game. All right, moving on, we got the 6-5 Buffalo Bills traveling to the 9-1 Philadelphia Eagles. Pretty much everybody is healthy in this game. So, how do you see this game shaping up?
I think this is going to be an explosion game for the Buffalo Bills.
Uh-oh.
On the sideline.
Good one.
When they're losing again. I think they take a loss here. I think Philly's going to win this game. But like I said, you're going to see some fireworks on the sideline. That camera's definitely going to be on Diggs. Definitely going to be on Josh Allen on the sideline to see how they're handling stuff. But I think Philly's going to be able to pull this thing out at home. I like them to be able to win this thing probably by about 7. Right now you got Philly sitting at -3. So I like Philly to be able to cover the 3 points even on this one. I don't think it's going to be that close. So I would take Philly minus the 3 points here.
Yeah, I do think Philly takes this game as well. One thing about Philly is they're pretty decent against, pretty easy matchup for tight ends, especially if you have good receivers. So I think Kincaid is actually set up nicely here. They have his line at 51.5 receiving yards. I think he can hit over 51.5 yards. And then I love Shakir as well. He's been eating without Dawson Knox. I like him to go over 32.5 receiving yards for him. On the other side, do you have any bets for the game for you?
Yeah, I'm looking at this right now. I feel like for Jalen Hurts, this is going to be a good game. I think he can go over 244.5 passing yards. So let me go ahead and lock that one in. And then give me
244.5.
244.5. And then I also feel like A.J. Brown is going to get over the 82.5 as well.
A.J. Brown. I like also Swift. His receiving yardage is at 16.5. They love using him in the receiving game. He's gotten pretty much around 30 plus yards every game. So
the last 2 games he's gotten 31 back to back.
There you go. So yeah, over 16.5 receiving yards seems pretty light for DeAndre Swift. But yeah, we both like Philly to win the game, which would be devastating for the Buffalo Bills. They'll go to 500. All right. Moving on, we got the Sunday night game. 8-3 Ravens traveling to the 4-6 Chargers. Now, we got OBJ was hurt, but he will play. So will Zay Flowers. He will give it a go. He had a hip injury all week. Wasn't looking like he was going to play, but he said he's going to try to give it a go. On the Chargers side, everybody is pretty much healthy from last game. Same team they're pulling out there. So, with that said, how do you see this game shaping up?
Yeah, I feel like, just what you said, like the receivers for the Ravens are kind of banged up. But I don't think that's going to stop them. I feel like the Ravens are just going to lean on Gus Bus here. So I think it's going to be a big game here again for Gus. I mean, Gus has been balling all season long, just very quietly giving you a touchdown a game, some games with 2. It's kind of weird. It's a little bit different than what you used to see. Normally, when the Ravens would get down to that goal line area, it was always Lamar Jackson running them in himself. But they're actually looking like a traditional offense where they're turning around and handing it to the running back and trusting him to get in. So I like Gus Bus in this game. I like the Ravens to win this game. The Chargers are not good against the run game. So I can see this be a game where the Ravens go out and they put up 200 yards on the ground against the Chargers.
Yeah, I like the Baltimore to take this game. We're not big fans of the Chargers either way. As far as, we call them the frauds. So I think this is going to just show everybody, Baltimore is better. They're better on paper. They're better in the field.
Their own city's not fans of the Chargers.
Right. There are some bets that I like. Oh, real quick, on the Baltimore side, are you playing Keaton Mitchell?
No.
Give him another week or see what's going on, right?
I never even was up on the, I know everybody was talking about picking him up, but I never even attempted to try to get him. So, I wasn't worried about it. I think this is Gus Bus's backfield for the rest of the year. So, unless Gus Bus goes down, you're holding a handcuff.
Right. All right. So, yeah, we think Baltimore wins. With that said, you said Gus Bus, you like him. I'm pretty sure you like this line as well. Over 49.5 rushing yards. That seems pretty light. And then I like OBJ to get over 39.5 receiving yards. He's become pretty much their first option in the receiving game. So, 39.5 is pretty low for that. So, and then, obviously no Mark Andrews. We know this already. But, so I think he should be involved in the passing game, OBJ. Do you have any bets for this game?
Yeah, they got Lamar sitting at 44.5 rushing yards. That's something I'm going to like. So I'm definitely going to be on that one. Then we get that. And then, the Chargers are going to have to try to stay in this game. So I think they're going to be pass heavy. So if you're telling me 35.5 pass attempts for Justin Herbert, I think he's going to go over 35.5 pass attempts.
For Herbs.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
I wish they had a drop prop for Quentin Johnson.
Yeah, I get it.
They should add that in. That should be one of those ones on Underdog where you get spicy.
Yeah.
You can have a spicy drop prop. That would be pretty dope.
With that said, I think he gets over 2.5 receptions, though. I saw that line and I was like, wait a minute. That's a little low. He is definitely their second option right now. So, he's going to get the targets, so he might as well, I think, as long as he just holds on to the ball, I think 3 catches is easily done in this game for him, Quentin Johnston. All right, moving on. We both like Baltimore to win that game. All right, Monday night, we got the 3-8 Chicago Bears traveling to the 6-5 Minnesota Vikings. No Deontay Foreman this game for the Bears, so it's wheels up for my man Khalil Herbert. He's back in action. He should get the full go, the majority of the share of the workload for the backfield there. And then on the other side, Justin Jefferson is a true questionable tag. Not getting good vibes from them. Pretty sure they have a bye week next week. So it's one of those where it's like, damn, they might just activate him but not really play him. Even if he's out there, he might be a decoy. How do you see that shaping up with the whole Justin Jefferson thing?
So if he's out there, he's not going to be a decoy. If he's out there, he's going to be a full go. They're not going to put him out there just as a decoy because that means they're worried about him still getting hurt, and they're not going to risk it. The only way he plays in this game is if he's 100% wheels up. So it's not even going to be like a snap count for him or anything like that. That's why they held him out so long. It's the same thing like when Cooper Kupp came back for him. They held him out so long because they're not going to – Cooper Kupp, Justin Jefferson, these guys are like top-notch receivers. So they don't know how to kind of pull back their own reins. They don't know how to watch out for themselves. They just go 100%. So that's why they're holding him out for so long, me personally. So if he's in, he's 100% a go. It's kind of like I have a strategic matchup going on right now in one of my leagues. I actually have Alexander Madison and I have Justin Jefferson. I'd rather play Justin Jefferson if he's in there. So what I did is I put Madison in my flex spot, and I am very happily willing to take him out if they say that Justin Jefferson's a go. So strategically, I was like, I'm gonna do this just so I can sneak Jefferson in, and I don't feel like I'm losing a lot using Madison in my flex. But I wanted to give myself that availability to be able to throw Jefferson in there if need be, if he is a go. So I'm curious to see if they play. I don't think they're gonna play him.
Yeah,
personally, that's my vibe, because next week they have a bye week.
That's what I was saying.
So it's one of those weird situations that I don't think they want to bring him back a week before the bye.
Yeah.
I don't know, because they're still in the hunt. I mean, they're still right there to be able to win this division, especially with Detroit losing on Thanksgiving. If they pull out a W, I mean, they're right there in the mix.
Yeah. But they're probably thinking they could get by Chicago without him. So.
Right. I think they win the game. So.
Yeah, exactly. I think they win the game as well. He's going to be active because he's still on the IR right now, but they have to activate him before the game. So they're going to activate him, but I don't think he plays as well. So with that said, Addison should have a good game against the Bears. You know, the Bears have been decent against the run lately, so, you know, it's going to be interesting to see how Madison and Tyson Chandler shape up, how that workload goes, because, you know, Tyson Chandler has looked more explosive. But I do like Addison and Hawkinson to actually have really good games in this game today. But then on the other side, you have no Deontay Foreman, so I think Khalil Herbert is actually a really good play as well. But you got to play DJ Moore and you got to play Cole Kmet. We saw what happened last time they played with Justin Fields. With that said, are you playing Justin Fields? You have to. I would say, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's a runner. That's what you're going to get out of him. You know, like I was looking at this, they got his rushing prop at 52.5. I think he's going to come in and go over that.
Okay.
So I'm going to say he goes over his 52.5 rush prop. I even like the 198.5 passing yards. I think that's something he's going to get at. I think this is going to be a negative game script, so I think they will be throwing the ball. So I like both of them because I feel like they will be throwing the ball, and he'll be taken off as well because he'll be in that pocket. So I like both of those props for them. And then on the other side, Dobbs, just give me his rushing prop, 37.5 rushing yards. I think he's going to be able to get that.
37.5.
For Dobbs,
Yeah, I like that too. But yeah, we both like Minnesota to win the game as well.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, I don't really have any bets for that game. I was gonna wait for tomorrow, but yeah, those are pretty good bets that we gave you so far. Hopefully, you know, you guys are tuning in and watching this show before the Sunday games today. I know it's kind of early, but yeah, you're not telling us anything different. We are here, sick, fighting through it, super early, but yeah, we're trying to give you this information for you guys so that you can win some money, win some leagues, and hopefully make the playoffs in your leagues as well. All right, so that does it for us. As always, you know, we love your support. Please go ahead and share the word. Tell your friends and family about it, especially people that, you know, are into football. A lot of people would be very appreciative that you told them about our show. And then once you're in there on the YouTube channel, go ahead and hit subscribe if you haven't done that already. And then, of course, we are on social media at To The Grid Podcast on Instagram and Facebook. So go ahead and find us and like us and interact with us. Bishop, you have anything else to say?
Yeah, man, appreciate you guys. Like I said, we apologize. We're here now, back again. You know, we were both pretty rough, man. But, you know, next week we got everything going to come to you with the full load, give you everything you need, give you the recap Thursday night. Going to keep this thing rocking and loading. But, you know, it was a great day. Enjoy your football today. You know, appreciate you guys. Subscribe and take it to the crib.
To the crib.